this film shows how spring this year came hot on the heels of winter. Basically, normally winter, you find it just sort of fades out and spring arrives, but this year we had terrible weather for probably 1-2 weeks, and it was really hard gales, hail, little bits of snow in the wind, howling wind, and then it almost stopped as quickly as it started, and it was just as if one morning winter had gone, that was the end of it, and all the little birds arrived, all the migrant birds, the African birds, absolutely fantastic. So it just came all of a sudden, really. But the little birds arrived, the chiff-chaffs and all those, before the damage had even really been cleared from the storm. These big trees were blown down on one of the very windy nights, and they've made a natural pond, and that's actually how ponds are formed in woodland and forest naturally. And walking around the reserve, within a couple of days of that bad weather going, it almost seemed instantly as if there was so much bird song. And they kind of all started to be nesting and pairing up all at once. Even the ducks down by the pond are nesting, and they'd probably started it in the bad weather. It's crazy to see all the birds singing so quickly. It's almost like a tap's been turned. And in this sunshine, managed to see the lizard for the first time. Didn't know I had them down by the pond. It isn't a newt. It is actually a lizard. With all these little birds arriving, the sparrowhawks, they time their nesting to coincide with the arrival of all these migrant birds. So it's a bit gruesome, but actually the sparrowhawk is coming through at dawn and at dusk mostly. And here he's got a starling, but usually he's timing his hunting trips for when the little birds are around and nesting. Obviously lots of sparrows and stuff like that, but he's probably got chicks to feed already. And the little birds go absolutely crazy when they see the sparrowhawk, and the crows and the magpies do. They all go, they just make an absolute racket, and you can tell when they're around, really. But even though the sparrowhawk lets you know he's around just by the noise of everything that goes with it, for the other birds it's not quite so easy. You always know spring's arrived when you see the lambs about, of course. Nothing says spring like lambs jumping up and down. But in the warmth of the sunshine, it's absolutely fantastic. The blossom starts almost within the space of a week. All the birds start looking for nests. The swans and the wildfowl, they're all coming in and pairing and nesting. They're all trying to find the best spots, trying to find the safest places to roost. And the thing that I've been trying to do really is record the sound of spring, the sound of these birds singing. Often these are chiff-chaffs, warblers, those kind of things. These are my favourites, really, perversely, because they're quite little brown jobs as far as bird watching goes. But they're fantastic and very difficult to film, because when you step into the fields, it sounds as if one bird is singing like crazy, really loud, a really long, intricate song. And when you actually film it here, you can see that each bird is just singing a little part, and then another bird nearby is replying, and then another bird is singing a little part. And in actual fact, the sound you hear is it's the mix, really, of all the birds in the area singing like a conversation to each other. And that's my favourite, the blackcap. Beautiful, intricate song. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this little, I don't know what it is really, a little film recording the transition from winter into spring. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. And if you have, please have a look at my website, wildaboutfilms.com. Thank you.